you can go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for coming on to the Wednesday webinar series here at San Diego County Farm Bureau hosted event. My name is David Drucker, and I work for Nutrien Ag Solutions. And thank you very much to the Farm Bureau for giving us the opportunity to speak to you folks today about some exciting things that we've got going on within our company. And I really wanted to share it with the agricultural community, especially down here in San Diego County. We're making some huge efforts globally to be the ag retailer of the future, which means some sizable investments in technology that is going to take agriculture into the future and really lead us to be productive in many aspects. So I'm excited about the possibilities and some of the things that we've got going. So I wanted to bring this to the forefront, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce today, I'll just go through my introductions here. Again, I'm David Drucker, Nutrien Ag Solutions here in San Diego County. Many of you know myself as well as my other colleagues, and some of them are on this call today. We've, between all of us, so we have literally hundreds of years of experience working in this marketplace. So I'm really fortunate to have some very talented people to work with. And as you're going to see today, some incredibly talented folks that support all of our efforts throughout this company. I'm going to introduce the team that's helping me today. And our first speaker today is going to be Casey Medley, and he's going to talk about our digital platform and some of the things that we're doing digitally. And then Scott Fickner from Precision AgriLab is going to talk about what we're doing in our laboratory, our testing. Ken Wallen is going to talk about Crop Connect, another aspect of our lab. And then Richard Mead is going to talk about Nutriscription and some of the other technology plays that we're using out there and utilizing for better crop production. As many of you also know, we've got manufacturing arm, which is Loveland Products, and you're probably familiar with many of those. And so we've got people in the R&D side as well, so we won't even go there, and that'll be another meeting for another day. But what I wanted to bring up is that what's really important at Nutrien Ag Solutions is that we've got people and specialists to really help growers with their challenges. We have over 3,000 agronomists around the world in 2,000 locations globally. We've got a tremendous amount of resources. And here in the United States, it goes without saying. One of our biggest issues that we're pushing is really soil health. And that's kind of what we're getting at today. Soil health is really the crux of what we're all doing at Nutrien Ag Solutions. Our purpose, and this comes from the CEO of our company, is to grow our world from the ground up. We're literally, it's all taking place. It starts in the soil. And we believe that a healthy soil is the foundation of life. And it's really a grower's greatest asset. And we want to make sure that we're utilizing that soil the best we can. Many of us, are licensed agronomists, and we practice the 4 R's, which is using the right source of fertilizer, the right rate, the right time, and the right place. And it's really, it doesn't change no matter where you are in the world. We have to protect the environment and protect our resources while trying to feed more mouths in this world than ever before. So, and we all know about that. The other thing that we're really strongly involved with is our community relations at Nutrien Ag Solutions. And so we have tremendous community investment. In 2019, I think we spent over $17 million donating to various causes in our communities all over the United States, whether it be, hurricane victims, and now with COVID relief, working with food banks. It's extremely important to us to give back to the community. Inclusion, diversity, they're all extremely important to us, as well as operational safety. And as a matter of fact, one of the things that you notice here is we're going to have a little safety moment. It's extremely important. It's a cultural, it's very important in our corporate culture, I guess. And then technology. That's really what we're all here about today. It's really to talk about the technology that we're bringing to the forefront. And so I'm going to let our experts touch on that. And so after our speakers finish, what I'd like to do is, if you would like to enter some questions in the chat box, we can certainly do that. You're always welcome to send questions to Hannah or anybody at the Farm Bureau, or just contact us directly. We want to make sure that we're a resource for you folks. I really appreciate the opportunity. At this time, I'd like to hand my screen over to Casey Medley, who manages our digital platform. Thank you very much, folks, and we'll talk to you at the end if you have any questions.
All right, thank you, David. Let me go ahead and share my screen here really quickly. Okay, give me one moment.
Casey, you might want to speak up a little bit. We barely hear you.
Okay, is this a little bit better?
Yes.
Okay, and so Richard, which screen are you seeing on your you're muted?
Oh, yeah, we got you on the safety moment. You can just go to from the beginning of the slide deck. So,
But it's not blown up, Casey.
Oh man.
Just go from the beginning. There. Oh.
See, I have two screens and it's blown up on my other screen, but not the one that I want. I had this issue yesterday. Apologies for the technical difficulties.
That's okay. Everybody's been there.
Was that any better, or are we still at the same?
No, but that's okay.
Okay,
You can see the main screen. Yeah.
Perfect. I don't know what happened here. My apologies. I'm trying to look for a Word document that I have that I cannot find on my screen. One moment. I apologize greatly for this. Oh, geez. I think that the digital adoption specialist would be better prepared.
Well, it is Zoom. It's a different platform than we're used to. Let's make that as an excuse.
This is true. Okay. Let me get back to Zoom and let me share one more time. Okay, so to start off, I would like to thank everyone for letting the Nutrien Ag Solutions team here speak today. I apologize for the delay there, but to start us off with a safety moment, we at Nutrien Ag Solutions, we really pride ourselves on creating a culture of safety for employees and customers. And we like to start each of our meetings with just a quick safety moment to highlight some proper safety practices and some real experiences. So today I would like to talk a little bit about safety on the farm. As this year progresses and production continues to increase, it is important to remain vigilant and aware of your surroundings on the farm at all times to help prevent and reduce any injuries. It was reported in 2017 that there were 416 farmer and farm worker related deaths due to a work-related injury. These injuries could have been due to a vehicular or farm equipment related accident or due to a misuse of machinery. And it's very important to understand completely how equipment works before use to avoid any issues and injuries. It's equally as important to take proper rest breaks to avoid fatigue and tiredness, especially when working long hours. Fatigue can lead to muscle weakness, slowed reflexes, impaired decision-making, and irritability, each of which can lead to a workplace injury or a fatality. So going forward, please always continue to keep safety a top priority as you complete your day-to-day tasks. So to introduce myself, I am Casey Medley, the Nutrien Ag Solutions Digital Adoption Specialist for the Coastal Division, which spans from Watsonville all the way down to San Diego. And the Nutrien Ag Solutions Digital Hub is a free online platform for our customers to utilize to manage all things related to their account. And it is available as a web version or through the iOS App Store. It was previously referred to as the customer portal for anyone who may have heard the term previously, but it is now referred to as the digital hub. So the digital hub can be used by Nutrien Ag Solutions representatives as well as customers. This allows the advisor to place any orders that a customer may need from our internal iOS application. There are several features that the digital hub has to offer customers as well, such as detailed account activity, balance inquiries, online invoice payments, prepay management, and purchase history, and a few other that I will talk about as well. So this disclaimer is simply states that the digital hub is ever changing and being enhanced by our digital team. So things may be a little different from this slide deck as improvements and adjustments are being made. I would also like to add that our digital hub customer information will never be given out to any third parties and will always remain confidential within the company itself. So this right here is an example of what the digital hub homepage looks like from a customer's perspective. There are several features that can be reached from the homepage, such as an overview of your account, which includes account balances, a list of your top purchases, local weather, and our weather story, which I will detail in the next few slides. There is also a section that shows current markets. However, currently those are only, the only shown are corn, wheat, and soybean. So again, on the home page, there are multiple accounts that can be associated to any given user. This shows that each account, this shows each account that you would be associated with, as well as each account's current balance, along with a currently due section. And just below that, here in the example, you can see any recent online orders that either you or your Nutrien Ag Solutions representative have placed in our online platform. So a little bit more information on the homepage. This details purchases by shelf, which highlights year-to-date totals. And you can see in this example, year-to-date totals for chemical, fertilizer, seed, and application. And here you can also view any licenses or restricted use permits that are on file, just to see if they're valid or maybe expiring soon, so you can get a new copy to your local location. And so accessible from the homepage, there is an option to view local weather as well as weather stories for your respective geography. Here's an example of the weather page. The local weather section can be detailed by zip code, and the weather story offers a broader forecast for the country, with each region having its own detail. And on the actual website, on the hub, this map is interactive, and you can select the west there, and it will take you to a video that will detail the forecast by one of our Nutrien meteorologists. So this is a glimpse into our product catalog. Under the products tab, again on the homepage, you can sort a list of products by shelf, active ingredient, and manufacturer, which will be reflected from your home location. So you can also add products to your cart and place an order from this screen as well, and that will be sent to your designated location. And Nutrien does also offer financing, and I can provide more information on that if needed. And so on the home page, you will also have access to view your past purchases. When looking through this list, you can sort by each of the headers and customize your time frame. This product list will also allow you to quickly access SDS and labels associated with each specific product. And from this page, you may also place items in your cart to reorder if you wish to do so. Should you share roles and responsibilities with multiple people within your business, you can share secure access to each account by adding users. This allows the other user to access the same information that you can. However, they will be unable to share information with other users, and they will not be able to delegate access to other users either. Excuse me. So when looking at your account details, you are able to see an overview, your statements, invoices, open items, manage your prepay, and see payments that have already been made. This offers a relatively quick way to view statements and invoices without having to request these items from the branch locations. For each account, you can add banking information for up to 15 unique checking and savings accounts and make ACH payments at your convenience. There is also a couple of options of scheduled payment and recurring payment, but I will go over those shortly. Oops. Sorry about that. So as far as the prepay, under your account details, you will have the ability to easily add funds as a prepay by simply selecting the Add Funds button. Should you have an existing prepay, you will also be able to see any transactions that any transactions against the prepay account as well. And once again, under the account details, this is where you can manage and schedule either one-time payments, or if you prefer, you can also schedule a reoccurring payment on your terms. Just simply select the add a scheduled payment button, or select the add a recurring payment button, and follow the steps in order to set those up. Again, I would like to thank you all for your time today. If you have any questions, would like to sign up for our portal or hear more information on it, please feel free to contact me. I've included my contact information, my email, phone number, as well as our digital support team's email and phone number as well. Thank you all again. I hope you have a great day, and I will pass it off to Scott now.
All right, thank you, Casey. Hopefully you guys can see my open presentation screen.
Yep.
All right, well again, so my name is Scott Fickner, and I manage and oversee Precision Agri Labs, as well as some of the technology centers we have now incorporated into this business, as David had mentioned in the beginning. Precision Agri Labs is an analytical lab. We primarily focus on in agriculture, testing soils, tissues, and waters for our customers, for helping them to better determine the appropriate products or rates of fertilizers that they need for their crops. Additionally, we do a lot of testing on fertilizers just for proofing that the analysis does match what the package states. Another popular test we run is composts. As again, David had mentioned, sustainability is a big part of our focus in our business. And so, using things such as compost is becoming a bigger part of our business and our customers' business. We also have other services that we don't necessarily offer in-house, but we have partner labs for diagnostics, residue testing, and environmental services. So we kind of pride ourselves as a one-stop shop. You can come and pretty much do anything and everything with us, whether it's done in-house or with an outside partner. Our goal is to provide all the services you need. We are located in Central California, right in the dead center practically of California and Madera. And we've been around for more than 30 years now, through many company name changes. So we do have a pretty long history here in California. As I mentioned, there is a technology center that we have been growing over the years. These are just a couple of the technologies we currently have within our business. Crop Connect, which we'll hear from Ken Wallen next. We'll go into some detail there. And our Scouting from Above, which is a fairly recent addition to our business portfolio. Just began this in 2020, and I'll share a few slides at the end of my talk on this business and what it offers. So this is an example of a complete soil report that we like to provide our customers. And our goal here is to provide a report that is fairly user-friendly and very visual. We want a grower to be able to look at this and very quickly determine where he may have excessive amounts or deficiencies and where he needs to focus his time based on these specific characteristics. Now we have everything from the general physical characteristics, pH, soil type, your EC, and so on, to all your major and micronutrients as well, solubles, exchangeables, and again, we try to provide everything we can. Additionally, we do give what we call pre-plant recommendations. Those are just general guidelines of maybe some nutrition you may need to focus on to get the soil to more of an ideal level for that crop. And then more recently, we have been providing some calculated recommendations of amendments based on these reports that we can provide on request. So again, we pride ourselves in providing practically everything a grower needs from his soil tests. This is an example of a tissue analysis. We call it our crop monitoring program. And again, here our goal is to provide a lot of detail on a single report. So in this case, you are actually able to look at a season-long sampling. Many of our customers like to sample as much as weekly, probably more often biweekly or monthly. Instead of having to look at a separate report page for every test, our goal here is to be able to provide an entire season's worth of data on one report. And in this case, you're actually able to look at trends over time. For example, these blue and red lines are ranges. You want to fall ideally within those different ranges. And then again, on the far right there, you have the graphical or numeric data available to look at as well. Additionally, if you look, there's these circles and diamonds on these reports, and those actually represent previous years. So in total, you have the potential to look at 3 years worth of data all in one report to really see the trends of your programs. And I like to call this a progress report or report card. So you can make changes during the season and adjust based on deficiencies or again, excessive rates that you may be seeing in your field. So a really, really good report, provides a great deal of information at your fingertips on one document. Water tests, again, is another big one that's grown over the years. We have found that, especially during the drought years, water contributes a great deal to some of the issues that our growers face. When they start to see levels such as salts, the salinity levels, the chlorides, borons, and things such as that that are climbing, they usually go back and attribute it to the water. When our water tables begin to drop again during droughts, we see these become a factor. So, you know, we try to provide all the information that they will need to determine whether or not this is acceptable water to use, if they need to find an alternate source, or in many cases, growers might have multiple wells that they have to blend to get to an acceptable level on certain parameters, such as sodium, again, chlorides, and other parameters. Again, Nutrien has a great deal of focus on sustainability and soil health. So one of the tests that we have picked up here that our customers really seem to like and utilize is what is known as the Solvida test. And it's a soil respiration carbon test. And this is something that a lot of people look at when they're applying composts and they're applying other biological type products to their soils. As you might imagine, many of the soils here in the Valley of California and throughout California are very sterile soils. There's not much life into it. So what they do is they apply these products, try to bring back some life, and hopefully make healthier soils and better yields for their crops. So here again, this is a good example of where a grower was applying products, trying to identify where he was getting some increased soil CO2 from respiration that would then in turn help show the soil health of their field and ultimately hopefully lead to better yields for their crops. So again, that was a very quick run through. We have a lot more detailed information on our services here at Precision AgriLab on our webpage, which is very simple. It's just our name, www.precisionagrilab.com. And you can go through and see examples of our different types of reports. You can order supplies if you need to. We have some detailed information about the Solvida test on there. And we even have a portal for accessing the reports. So if you do work with us currently, this is kind of a newer addition. All reports can be accessed by customers through our internal portal page. In addition, at the bottom here, we have some quick links to some different sites that may be of benefit to you as well. So that was a quick run through again of Precision AgriLabs, the actual lab portion of our business. Going into a little bit on one of our newer businesses, Scouting from Above. This is actually, again, as I mentioned, something that was started officially January of 2020. We have a team of individuals that specializes in operating these unmanned aerial drones. They utilize some of the most advanced sensors and drones on the marketplace, looking at things such as spectral, thermal, and the traditional RGB type images. And what's pretty amazing now is this technology actually allows them to measure soil, not only the plant health, across the field, but actually all the way down to an individual plant. Because of the altitudes that they're flying, they actually can get very, very high quality images all the way down to a single plant and determine the general health of that plant. And then all this can be very quickly downloaded following a flight into a computer for analysis for very, very quick turnaround and interpretation of the data. Here's just an example of a screenshot of the software where they are, looking at, it's kind of hard to see here, but you can see individual plants within this field or trees are all color coded based on some of these sensors and the indexes of what's considered a healthy or potentially unhealthy tree. And this is just kind of a general overview of just a few of the things you can do with drones and with these sensors. We can do everything from counting individual plants, looking at distribution uniformity within a field, measuring potentially plant height and tree height, looking at emergence across the field, chlorophyll indexes, weed detection. It's really the sky is the limit. And this technology seems to be evolving almost on a daily basis. And our goal is to keep our team appraised of what's coming so that we can continue to offer pretty much anything that's available in the market to our customers. And this is just the shot on the bottom left is our team currently that are doing these flights. They're both certified. They've gone through all the official training. They work very closely with the FAA. So what they're doing is all very closely scrutinized, but they have been licensed and certified to do what they are doing properly, safely, and within the legal realm of California regulations. And then the next image on the right, I'll actually play this kind of looping video. This is another piece of the business too that has been growing, utilizing the drones to actually apply beneficial insects. So where traditionally a lot of insects were applied by hand through a field, we now have the capability using some pretty advanced equipment to more uniformly and more quickly apply these insects over a field using our drones. So it's pretty amazing. Again, I just touching on this a little bit. But if there is anyone interested in learning more about this technology, I would suggest you get a hold of us and we can get you in contact with our team of specialists to give you more information and share with you all of the services they have available to them. So with that, I appreciate your time. And if you would like to reach out to me, you can either contact us through our webpage or my email, which is just my name, scott.fickner@nutrien.com. So at this time, I will stop sharing and then I'll pass this over to Ken, who will share some more on the technologies we have to offer here at Precision AgriLabs. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Scott. Can everybody hear me? We're good? Everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you everyone for spending a little bit of time this afternoon listening to what we have to offer. I appreciate everybody taking some time out of their day. A little bit about what I do. I work in another aspect of the lab, our technology center called Crop Connect, which is, again, our technology center. Since the late 90s, early 2000s, we've been in the business of weather stations, wireless sensors, soil moisture probes, irrigation monitoring sensors, and recently, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago, we branded that as Crop Connect. A little bit about what we got. Crop Connect field stations are what I describe as accurate, site-specific, real-time data stations. They have several different features. These are some illustrations. I took some different pictures of some versatility, what we have out in the field. Of course, this is in vineyard. This is also in vineyard, where we have the complete evapotranspiration station, what we call a disease modeling station as well, which run the Gubler-Thomas Great Powdery Mildew Index, downy mildew, different insect degree days. But I added a few other pictures here just to show that we have several in pistachios, tree nut crops. So there's really nothing, there's really not an application that we can't manage. We also have the ability, if you have row crop, alfalfa, hemp, cotton, vegetable crops, where we can keep it a little bit lower profile, where you don't need to have it up so high with some of the different sensors here. So we can keep it low, where if you're going through pretty regularly with low profile implements, this wouldn't be an issue. And this picture here, believe it or not, was taken down near your neck of the woods. This was, as David and I kind of reminisced, I believe it was a New Year's Eve or day back 5 or 6 years ago. This picture is in Temecula, believe it or not. I'm sure some in the crowd remember that weird cold front that whipped through, and there was snow in Duluth and snow through the Cajon Pass and everything. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So this shows that these stations will give you accurate temperature with icicles and snow hanging off it. and also working the heat in Coachella and Yuma and down your way. So yeah, temperature, frost, heat stress warnings. We have the ability with the stations to run disease and pest management models. And then a big aspect of our business is our irrigation management tools. We have, there's a lot of different moisture probes out there in the market. Some of you might use some or are familiar with Watermark's early generations of the capacitance probe or C probe. This is a probe we're using almost exclusively now. It's called an EnviroPro. It's a multi-depth soil moisture, soil temperature, and we also have an EC feature, a soil salinity feature on board, where this is a column or a stick type sensor that can go down as deep as 5.5 feet or as shallow as 12 inches. And you will get in 4-inch increments, again, soil moisture, soil temperature, and an EC feature. I just took an illustration or a screen capture of different, just basically, I took an image of the graphical data. Each depth will have its own unique color, and as well as a identifiable legend that'll say, you know, for example, this might be 4 inches, 8, 12, 20. So you'll be able to see each depth, kind of like you've got a set of eyes below the soil. And it is in what we call real time or near real time data delivery. It's usually going to be within about 15 minutes of real time. Everything is internet based or web based. You've got a smartphone, laptop, tablet, desktop, computer, any web enabled device, you have that ability to pull up your information. This is another picture of the EnviroPro data. This actually is over in Fillmore, Santa Paula. We've had an ongoing project with the Avocado Commission, as well as Cal Poly Pomona at the Pine Tree Ranch. Some of you might have been to some field days down there. It's kind of an area where we get to showcase some of our technology with the commission. They have a weather station there and several different soil moisture devices that monitor some of the different irrigation methods, some of the different growing methods in the avocados, different mulch beds, high berms, low berms, drip, that kind of thing. But what you got here is you've got in, again, 4-inch increments, a device that's giving you a set of eyes below your soil to help you manage that water better. When you see these peaks, these kind of upticks, that's an increase in moisture. That's an irrigation event. If we ever have another one, a rain event. So you'll be able to see that moisture as it moves through your profile. And then this period here, this decline is the period in between irrigations. This is the tree, vine, roots using the moisture. We try to make it as easy and as simple as possible to follow. Again, a peak or an uptick, that's an increase in moisture. The EnviroPro measures in percent moisture. So higher the number, higher the moisture content. 28%, 22.6, 21.3. And then as you move down deeper, this is in, again, avocados. So we stop at that shallow rooting depth of about 16 inches. So it gets a little bit drier down below. We also have some applications down in your neck of the woods, as well as up north and in different big nurseries. In addition to that multi-depth style probe, we have a lot of good single sensor options, single depth options where we can put in containers and line up several within, you know, say potted plant or nursery conditions, where you'll get a single depth reading. This particular graph shows a couple of different types of single depth sensors, both measuring in percent moisture. They're in a little bit different media, so what they wanted to do is kind of compare what each container is holding when an irrigation occurs. This little black line here that says 5.0 minutes is a nice little add-on sensor we have that you can put. Doesn't have to be in nurseries. It can put, I have several in commercial ag where we put it in the drip hose, at the pump, and you get a nice accurate run time. These are quick, short pulse irrigations, 5 minutes at a time. So it tells you this water is on for 5 minutes. If your water's on for 6 hours, it'll tell you it's on for 6 hours. And then down below here, what we're doing is we're just tracking the total for the week, how many minutes or hours were put on for that particular week. So we can do a lot of different custom things for you, for your graphs. We can make it as elaborate or as simple as possible. This here is again off the EnviroPro, and this is an EC or Salinity Graph, where you're getting your EC numbers, be able to track that salt. If you're fertigating or applying fertilizer, it's a good tool to actually show where that fertilizer is going. The red line represents 4 inches, blue is 8, green is 12, and then your pink is 16 inches. So again, during an irrigation, fertilizer application, when you see it peak up and move through, that's that increase in salt as well as moisture and whatever else you might have plotted on that graph. Every 4 inches. So we can kind of plot as much on a graph or keep it as simple as you like. Back to simplicity, what most of my growers like, and again, this was taken from over at the Pine Tree Ranch. Again, I wanted to show a typical avocado irrigation. We try to make it as easy as possible and as simple to follow as possible. Green, up into this green is what we call the full point or field capacity point. Green represents health. Green is good. You want to irrigate and kind of tick this green or what we call full point. And then the theory is to kind of let it dry down into this lavender, not quite getting down into the dry. Yellow represents dry or your onset of stress. So the thought is irrigate, tick the green, let it kind of run through and get down into that drier point. The software has the ability to save and archive years of data. Our current database goes back about 8 years. So we have calendar features, different features where if you simply hit this drop down, this 1 month, if you kind of look here, this tracks the whole month of late April, early May, or late April into late May. But you can change your time span. You can look at 2 weeks, a week, a day, a year. So this is what a lot of growers like. It's easy to follow. It gives you a real good idea as to how to manage your irrigations. Something I always like to tell my growers is that our sensors, our weather stations, our ET stations, flow meters, they all qualify for the ongoing sweeps programs, the NRCS programs. So whatever government programs there are, we've helped guys write grants. We've helped them with their proposals in order to get some of this equipment paid for by the CDFA, California Department of Food and Ag, or USDA, or whatever ongoing programs there are. So yeah, look into that if you ever have the ability or the need to qualify for one of these. We can get a pretty good chunk of this hardware paid for. Again, I wanted to thank you for your time this afternoon. Cropconnect.com, if you have some time, take a look at it. It's got a pretty good list of what we offer. Details on some of the hardware and some of the applications. Shoot me an email, ken.wallen@nutrien.com, and here's my mobile number. And I just threw this in here. This was a project we had down in Coachella, kind of on the north rim of the Salton Sea. We were putting some weather stations up. So we do the installs, we do all the data collection, the management, the consulting with you on how to view and how to interpret your data. So keep that in mind. Again, thank you. And I guess Mr. Mead is next.
I assume you can see my screen.
Yes, it's on the tiled screen now. There you go.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Richard Mead. I am a digital agronomist with Nutrien, and I also run the Nutriscription program. I've just got 9 slides here just to show you what we do in Nutriscription and with the digital data that we have. The Nutriscription system basically is a complement to Precision AgriLab's databases of soil, tissue, and water. We reflect what they do in terms of sufficiency ranges. And we have a set of tools that we use to first glean the data from the field, and that would be this NS Tracker app here. And also another app that we process the data, store it for multiple purposes, and to run advanced reports. It was originally meant to promote tissue sampling and sell our proprietary products, but it's become a very sophisticated database engine for analytics, discerning trends, and you'll see in a few minutes what it can do. So this is basically my 1-minute elevator speech about what Nutriscription is. It does spit out a report for our retail guys. This is a retail tool, but our growers use it indirectly, working in tandem with our retail sales guys. Just a little closer look up of the 2 apps that we use.
Richard, sorry to interrupt you. I think on my computer, I'm only seeing half of your slides. I'm not sure if everyone else is.
Yeah, it's a cut your presentation in half. We're seeing half the screen.
Oh, I don't know how to prevent that.
Are you working on 2 monitors?
Yes.
It looks like it's showing maybe half of each one.
Oh boy. Is this better?
Not yet. Maybe if you try stop sharing and then reshare, sometimes that helps.
Okay, I'll try it. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know if this is going to do it, but. Is that better?
Yes.
So far, yeah.
I'm almost afraid to blow it up. I'll blow it up and see what happens. Well, let's just go with this since we're pressed for time.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. I was at this screen here, and I hope you can just see the outline of my PowerPoint. And this is basically the engine, the guts of Nutriscription, where we start with NS Tracker over here. I assume you can see my mouse clicking around. And then on the right is the NS Pro app that we use. So can you see slide 3 now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, all right. So these are the 2 apps, and the one on the left is NS Tracker, and I'll show you how that works in a few seconds. And then the NS Pro app on the right is the complementary companion app of NS Tracker. And we work in tandem with the lab, and the lab sends out these bag IDs for our soil, tissue, and water samples. And the NS Tracker app scans that QR label so we can digitally capture the information out in the field. And that unique identifier is unique to that sample. So it knows who you are, where you are on the planet. It obviously geo-reference the samples. We're doing boundary files now of the field. So all that information is just represented by that bag ID in our database. And after we get the information back from PAL Lab, we use the NS Pro app, which can be the app on an iPad or your phone or a website. And basically it's a dashboard of housing all our customers' data. Now, again, this is a retail tool, but the retail sales guys can manage the information for you and just show you your data, obviously. But without spending a lot of time, this is the upper right panel is the analytic panel showing, in this case, nitrogen is the #1 problem in Oxnard across all crops. Here's the sampling on the left panel, the sampling intensity. The middle left panel is the crops sampled. The lower left are all our customers. And then, from a branch manager's point of view, on the lower right is you can dive into salesman's information. In that middle right panel, I think is the most intriguing since we geo-reference everything. We can actually show a multitude of growers anonymously where certain problems are, whether it be high nitrate in the groundwater or whatever the issue is. It might be a common theme that multiple growers are having, or it can just be right there on the grower's field. But it's actually a lecture in itself on what this NS Pro tool can do. But behind the scenes, there are reports that we use. A multitude of reports, as you can see, with obviously the various color codes. Red and yellow are bad, green and blue are good. And again, we work in tandem with the PAL's efficiency ranges. So when they say it's low in zinc, we say it's low in zinc, et cetera. And you can see there's a bunch of ways to tell a story about what went on in that field, be it tissue through multiple years or multiple blocks, soil through multiple depths, or multiple vineyards, et cetera. And we also have multiple reports that combine soil and tissue reports to tell a complete story, more or less like a report card. We also do various detailed information analysis. This beyond NS Pro. This is just a very small example when we have so much big data. And if the grower has this much data, we can analyze it for them too. But this is a very quick example, just looking at our pH levels in the San Joaquin Valley, and how you would not think that they would go below 7, but they're diving into 4.5 to 5, and we think it's due to ammonium fertilizer on sandier soils. We can actually track what crops those are being affected on. So now we're starting to think about liming soils, in which I thought we'd never get in that business, but that's becoming a common thing. I don't have too many slides. I do want to kind of re-emphasize what Dave and Scott have been talking about. Sustainability is a big mantra for 2021 for Nutrien, from the CEO all the way down to the branch. Minimizing our environmental footprint, and in my mind, it's just as efficiency for running, how many times you run the tractor across the field, just being efficient for the grower. Obviously, being diverse in the workforce, we've been doing that for a long time. And so it's just, it's a real button-up organization. It's just concerned about the growers, the environment, and working together to produce a solution. I wasn't smart enough to put my name and email on there, but I'll go back to this slide where my name's Richard Mead, and my email's at richard.mead@nutrien.com. And if anybody's interested, just put it in the chat if you need my phone number. Stop sharing. And sorry for the other, I guess my monitor just blew everything up, so I apologize for that. We okay?
All right. Does anybody have any questions? I don't know if you guys are open for questions, if anyone listening wants to ask. You can always put questions in the chat box as well. All right, well, thank you guys so much for taking your time. And if anybody does have any further questions, then feel free to contact us at the Farm Bureau, and we can put you into contact if you didn't write down that info. And but other than that, thank you for your time, all of you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Farm Bureau, for the opportunity. Please keep an eye out. We plan on doing some more meetings. The next one Katie and I spoke about will offer some continuing education hours. So look for that here in the next 2 or 3 months. And again, thanks for the opportunity to interact with you folks, and we look forward to working with you.
All right, thanks so much, David.